Alright, so a few days ago we got some potential proof that The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live Season 2 could be a thing. So in today's video I'm just going to be discussing about that, my theories and speculation about it, if I think that Season 2 is a possibility, and just theories and speculation about what Season 2 could be. So please stay tuned. And now, before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I would like to apologize in advance about my voice. I've been sick for the past couple of days, and I'm still a little bit sick, and that's the reason why I haven't been able to make any videos for the past couple of days. And I lost my voice in the duration, but I'm starting to feel a little better. So if my voice does sound a little weird, that is the reason. So please bear with me. And I'd like to ask you all to like this video as much as you guys can. It helps a ton. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. And now, as we all know, for the past couple of months there have been a lot of teases and just some slip-ups by AMC in regards of The Ones Who Live. It all started off with the DVD set, right, with The Ones Who Live on it, and it was labeled as Season 1, and a lot of people didn't think much of it. A lot of people took it as proof of Season 2 being a thing, but you know, like, there was a lot of things that Scott Gimple and the people over at AMC and also Andrew Lincoln himself that said that yeah, Season 2 is not a thing, and that was just its own story. But last week, AMC released a promo for AMC Plus, and the Walking Dead universe was highlighted in that, and they were showing the different spin-offs. For example, Dead City and Daryl Dixon, and also The Ones Who Live. It was just a little like promo, like a marketing thing for AMC Plus. And The Ones Who Live was labeled as Season 1, like they have done the past couple of months, right? With different marketing materials for The Ones Who Live, they labeled it as Season 1. And now a lot of people did draw the conclusion that The Ones Who Live Season 2 is happening because it was highlighted as Season 1. And personally, I do think that they want to do something with Rick Grimes. And if that is The Ones Who Live getting a Season 2 or not, I am not sure. But the way that The Ones Who Live did conclude, it seemed like that the door was open for a Season 2. And of course, the CRM is technically gone with Major General Beale's death, and the CRM is kind of a force for good now. But anyone could take over the CRM in that regard, right? Anyone could take over that mantle of Major General Beale. For example, Mason Beale, Major General Beale's son, could take it over, and from there they could start Season 2 of The Ones Who Live. But also another idea could be that Morgan could potentially be a highlight for Season 2 of The Ones Who Live, just like how they did with Daryl Dixon Season 2. They called it The Book of Carol, and it was a Daryl and Carol story, but they showed Carol's journey to find Daryl. And at the end of Morgan's story in Fear the Walking Dead, the door was open for Morgan to have his own spin-off or just his own story looking for Rick, right? Morgan was left in that position that Carol was in. He was looking for his friend. So it is very possible that Season 2 of The Ones Who Live could be a Morgan story, and it could pick up right after the events of Morgan's last episode in Fear the Walking Dead, which I think is very interesting. But with a lot of interviews and a lot of stuff with Scott Gimple, right, he said a lot of times that we want these characters to come together, but he did not specifically say The Ones Who Live Season 2. As a matter of fact, they did shoot down the potential of The Ones Who Live having a Season 2, which is weird because The Ones Who Live had a lot of success on Netflix, and also before the premiere of The Ones Who Live, they did tease that The Ones Who Live could be having multiple seasons. Scott Gimple did say never say never. So definitely the door is open there, and when it came out on AMC Plus, maybe it wasn't as successful as they thought it would be. Even though it was possibly the most watched thing on AMC Plus, it didn't target that audience, right? Like, the amount of viewers probably weren't as much as they were expecting, and that's just all theories, right? I don't know anything, right? I didn't look at the numbers, but that's what I think. But when it was premiered on Netflix, the audience doubled in viewership. So I think that if the idea of The Ones Who Live was shot down during the last year, maybe that might have been a possibility that they just were considering that, yeah, we're not going to make a season 2 for The Ones Who Live. We're just going to keep at it with Daryl Dixon and Dead City until we get to that crossover spin-off. But with Netflix being a huge success for The Ones Who Live, targeting a much broader audience, it is very possible that they went back to The Ones Who Live and they renewed it for a season 2. And also with Comic-Con being 2 months away, it is very possible that we could be getting some sort of announcement regarding Rick Grimes. Now, we're not sure if it's The Ones Who Live season 2 or if it's a whole crossover spin-off, but San Diego Comic-Con is very, very close, and it's possible that they could be revealing something new during Comic-Con, because it would be a very big letdown if Comic-Con just had Daryl Dixon season 3 footage, right, like a trailer for Daryl Dixon season 3 and just an announcement for Dead City season 3. I think they need to bring something new to the table and something fresh, because in my eyes, the Walking Dead universe has been going down in quality, and I have been talking about this for the past couple of months, that there is nothing new and nothing really that interesting. I mean, Dead City season 2 is going on right now, and yes, it is a good show, but I don't feel much excitement from it, right? I don't care about the new characters that are being introduced in that spin-off, and quite frankly, Negan is the only interesting aspect of Dead City season 1 and season 2. So they need to bring back Rick, right? They need to bring back these legacy characters. They need to bring some sort of new announcement, because the Walking Dead universe is kind of losing its grip, right? And again, like, the way I'm seeing it is that people are not as interested in the Walking Dead universe as much as they're interested in it back when season 11 premiered, or back when The Ones Who Live was about to premiere. I think that it's kind of going dry now, and they need to get that grip, because if they want this universe to succeed, and if they want their plans to finally come to fruition, they need to start building up a crossover. They need to start building up this whole reunion with Rick Grimes, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, that the Walking Dead universe without Rick Grimes feels very weird, right? And we do have a lot of very good characters, right? We have Daryl and Negan and Maggie and Carol. We have all of these great characters, but without Rick Grimes, this universe has nowhere to go. And a great example of that is the CRM, right? The Ones Who Live was a CRM centered show. Yes, they weren't as major as we thought they would be, but before The Ones Who Live came out, we all had that idea that, yeah, you know, The Ones Who Live is going to be that start of a bigger thing, right? It's going to be a build up for a way bigger crossover, and that's because of Rick Grimes, right? He is the anchor of this universe. He's the main character of this universe, and this universe without Rick Grimes' presence feels very lost, and it doesn't have any sense of direction, right? With the CRM gone, and with Rick and Michonne being in the dark now, and they're not doing anything with those characters, it just feels like they're just trying to get everything out of the way, right? You know, they're trying to get Dead City out of the way, they're trying to get Daryl Dixon out of the way, and they might just call it a day from there. And I totally understand why they can't make a season 2 yet, or they can't really do anything with Rick and Michonne yet, and that's simply scheduling issues, right? I mean, you're seeing on Twitter and everything like that Andrew Lincoln is shooting a lot more stuff, right? He's getting into more projects now, and he's not only Rick Grimes, he's dedicated to a lot of other projects nowadays. And also Denai Guerrera is going to appear in Avengers Doomsday, which the shooting for that is happening right now. Yes, she wasn't officially announced for the movie, but it's very likely she's going to appear in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So their schedules are packed, and it's totally understandable as to why they can't make any sort of announcement now, or they can't start shooting now, or they can't appear in other stuff now. It's totally understandable, but at least if they give us some sort of assurance that these characters are coming back, right? And just stuff except for teases, right? Because Scott Gimple's just going around in interviews and he's teasing a lot of stuff to the fans, and he's making it seem like that, yeah, you know, we have everything in place. We have a big plan. We have a broader plan for these characters. But it doesn't feel like they really have anything on the books, right? It doesn't seem like that they have any plan in mind. They're just going for it. And with this being called the Walking Dead universe, it doesn't feel very connected, right? All these characters seem like that they're just in their own little world, and they don't even mention each other. So yeah, like I think that if they want to do something with Rick and something with the Ones Who Live season 2, they have to start now. And like I mentioned before, scheduling could be an issue, but if they start little teases and stuff like that in the spin-offs, I'm not talking about only in interviews, but I'm talking about in the spin-offs themselves, I think that's a step in the right direction. For example, Dead City season 2 has 8 episodes, and the final 2 episodes weren't shown to the press in like the early screenings for season 2. So again, like a lot of people are assuming that Rick could show up in the last 2 episodes, or he could show up in the post-credit scene, which is very likely, and that's a video for another time. But personally, I think that the door is open for the Ones Who Live season 2, and there's a lot they could do, right? You know, they could make Morgan the main character of it. They could make like the Commonwealth have a bigger part in it, and just Rick's whole arc of being the new leader of the Commonwealth. They could have that, or they could make Gabriel and Aaron and all these other characters have a bigger part in the spin-off with Rick. We could have this spin-off be a huge reunion season. Let it be called The Ones Who Live. Let it be a Rick-centered story, but have all these other characters appearing in it before the crossover spin-off, so we know where they are. Then they could get into the crossover spin-off and we're all caught up. But yeah, I think the best place to announce The Ones Who Live season 2 is at San Diego Comic-Con, which is 2 months away. And I personally do think that there is going to be a huge announcement for the Walking Dead universe. Again, keep your hopes low, right? Because we learned from this universe, we learned from AMC that we can't keep our expectations too high, or else we'll be sorely disappointed. So yeah, I think that The Ones Who Live is getting a season 2. I'm kind of in the middle for it, but with the hints and teases and these promos of specifying that The Ones Who Live is a season 1, it does leave me thinking that potentially season 2 could be a thing, and they could definitely make it, right? And I think that it would be amazing if they were to make it, and if they were to actually make all these characters feel like they're in one universe. I think that would be a good step in the right direction. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And I'd like to ask you all to like this video as much as you guys can. It helps a ton. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.